Hello everyone, we are here, we are live, we are ready to go, and we're picking up exactly where we left off last stream with the Moho 1 sitting on Moho's surface. We had planted a flag and then slid down the hill. So you can, oh, we're still sliding. I can see I'm still getting further and further away from my target, so we are still sliding down the hill, and we have now, this is our 7th flag out of the 15 that are available to plant if I don't do goofy things like try to land on Jewel or anything like that. And I think really this is the hardest one, and I built myself a vessel that is capable of doing most of the rest of those landings, so I'm kind of pumped. But that 7 doesn't count if I fail to get our 4 brave kerbals back to Kerbin's surface safely. So that's what this episode is going to be about, is to get these folks safely back home. We can now retract our ladders. There we go. And for those that watched the stream a couple of weeks ago, they know that mistakes were made on our way here. And so more fuel was used than really should have been used. So I have not just a plan B, but also a plan C. And there are vessels in orbit about Kerbin right now that are waiting to be enacted. But you know what? I'll talk about those. It'll be easier to talk about those once we get this vessel all back together again. So let's get our lander back up to our command vessel. So I've already set the command vessel as a target here, and it is in an altitude, what's that, 18 by 22, so semi-major axis, around 20 kilometers. I looked up, and the highest feature on Moho, I looked it up, is about 6,800 meters. So I should be able to safely get up to an altitude of 10 kilometers. So that's what I'm going to do with the lander, and we'll do ourselves a rendezvous. So because I'm going to be going into a lower orbit, I want the lander ahead of me. I also don't think it'll take too long for me to get into orbit, so I'm going to just time warp, get the lander a little ahead of me. Or not the lander, I'm sorry, our command vessel right here. I'm hoping I should have really... Yeah, we're still good. I should really quick save, because this thing is sliding down the hill. I shouldn't just trust that it's going to stay upright once I start time warping, but seems all okay. Okay, we're going to let it get just a little ahead of us. Alright, I think that's good. That's good, that's good, that's good. Okay, we have to just take off and go east. Which way? I looked on the nav ball, which way is east? Alright, let's do it. So, punching it, and off towards the east. Oh, that's this way. Gear. And you can pitch right over. As long as you don't crash in any hills, you're good. In an airless environment. There we go. Come right over. And this is on, that's what was confusing me. We're just going to go to 10 kilometers here on the apoapsis. It already went to target mode because the vessel went so close to us. Pitching right over and cut. There, 10 kilometers. So we'll circularize. And the first step is going to be to dock these two together. Got some people just joining the chat there. Hello, Philip. Hello, Dan. Hello, CN. All right, let's see. Time warp a little bit here. About a minute from map. Oh, I can't time warp any faster because of our altitude, or lack thereof. Wow. Oh, that's going to be a pain. Won't let me time warp more than 1 time speed below 10 kilometers, so I'm definitely going to make sure that we are over 10 kilometers all the way around. Because I definitely don't want to have not... I want to be able to do some time warping. Okay, we can close this. That's not serving any purpose. I did absolutely 0 science down there on the surface because the little bit of transmitting that we did heading into this on our way here finished off the tech tree for me, so there really isn't a reason for to be collecting science anymore. We are all scienced out. Okay, let's see how this works. Let's just lock this on prograde, for goodness sakes. I'll just control throttle. Okay, a little bit more, and we will be there. Again, I want to be 10 all the way around. There we go. Okay. That actually looks pretty good. Yep, let's set up our rendezvous. Ooh, I can see we're already coming pretty close, but let's add a maneuver here. This not much distance below versus above. So, here, let's just drag it around. There we are. But it is cheaper to come in from below rather than to come above and then just have to reduce the orbit again. And I can get entirely too fiddly with this, so I'll try and keep myself under some control. Oh, the other way. You know, trying to get this as close as I can. Oh, come on. There we go. 400 meter separation at closest approach. Let's see if we can dial this in a little better. That's the wrong way. Actually, I think I had it pretty good before, so I should just call it at that. Let's call it at 400 meters. That's pretty good. So we got that burn coming up in 22.5 minutes. I'm going to a 0.3. Let's turn this down to 30. Did that change both of them? No. God, still, what's 10? This is like a nothing burn. There, that at least puts the burn time up to 3 seconds. Okay. Alright. Oh, I can see our vessel up here. Let's put this on free. It always looks better on free. Kind of wish that was the default. Ooh, there would have been. Should have landed in there. That looks like a nice land. I would think I was really impatient with picking my landing spots. I could have done worse. Look at all this lumpy, hilly stuff below us here. Come on, let's get to it. Then we'll dock, and then we'll talk about the plan for getting these folks back home. And for folks that are watching this for, put this on the maneuver node, that have not seen any of the previous streams, yes, this is a dorky looking lander, but that is because it is the first half of a space plane. The back half of the space plane is up here. And yes, I brought an entire space plane with me because I can. And plan B is actually ditching the back half of the space plane. But we'll first start to get this under control first. Okay, here we still got a little bit closer to get. Okay. So this isn't going to be much of a burn. So I'm not going to go up to very high throttle. And really, I'm just going to watch this closest approach here. Right now, it's about 19 kilometers. Should be able to get it down around 400 meters. Oh, I overdid it just a bit. That's what RCS is for here. 405. Oh, I saw 405. 404. That's good. All right. And quick save, and we're going to be there in about 17 minutes. You can certainly watch our approach. Should be coming below it, and then it should catch up to us. Isn't that the way it's going to? Yeah, that is the way it's going to work. We're coming below us, but because we're slowing down, because our put this on target, because we are approaching our apoapsis, we're slowing down. Well, this is more or less going at a constant velocity, so when we slow down, it's going to catch up to us from behind. Isn't orbital mechanics fun? Okay, I'll lock that on the anti-target vector. Let's see, I can push it, bring it over this way a little bit. Just going to bring this closest approach as low as we can, and then we'll time warp there. Always feels a little weird pushing the retrograde vector actually off the target, but that's because our orbits are curved. Obviously, our orbits are, and they're very curved around Moho. Alright, that's good enough. Coming in at a rocketing 5.3 meters per second. Very slow approach in Moho's relatively light gravity. Alright, so let's control our... Actually, we can get a little closer. We get to here. We got to target the docking port that's at the bottom of this. Let's get back. Did I hit the... I did not. Hit the dock. I think I got the airstream. I think I get right in here. There we go. That's the docking port. I actually clicked on the fairing. Let's bounce back. There we go. And set that as a target. There we go. That's what we're going for, obviously. I want to make sure I clear this whole fairing business that's on here. Slow down here a bit. Okay, I just want to knock off most of this velocity, and then we'll finish her off with that, with RCS. About 0.5 meter per second. Okay, so we're going to switch our control to here. Control from here. That, of course, reverses everything. And this is where there's a lot of eyeballing. Which isn't the best. Some sort of assist would be nice. Here, let's aim our camera down to here so we can get a better view of this. Okay. And there is a little bit of clipping that happens with that cowling. I'm using a fairing more as a cowling than anything else, because this thing should have some aerodynamic properties. That looks okay. So I'll warn people that there's a little bit of funkiness that goes on here, but I'm just going to live with that. Oh, should go down, dummy. Don't tell me that I got to deploy that fairing, because that would be... Oh! Okay! That did not happen in testing. In testing, and it must just have to do with the whole re-rendering of it, but now that fairing is a solid thing. Okay, that is interesting. That might alter our plans here a little bit. Not a problem, because we can deploy this. I was hoping, but of course, that makes... okay, now let's get back down there. That's not cool. Because, of course, this thing is meant to fly back down to the runway. But I'm not sure how well it will fly now that cowling is gone. Our camera back down here. Aim camera. There we go. How's that all looking for alignment? Looks pretty good. Okay. So we'll have to deal with that as we deal with that. But let's take a look at, well, before I go anything, let's take a look at our Delta V. Now, according to this, we can shut down these engines. And shut down these engines. Okay. And we can also take the liquid fuel that is in here, because it now serves no purpose, and transfer it out into these where our nuclear engines have access to it. So that gives us 3,000, with those engines, 3,924 meters per second of Delta V. I just realized we're upside down. Are people noticing that in the chat? Oh, it is in the chat. I was so concentrated on my docking that I just noticed that. See, here's the tail for the space plane, and yeah, we're upside down. Okay, well, one thing at a time. Right now, that doesn't matter, but yeah, that does look kind of silly. Okay, so this needs to be turned 180 degrees. But you know, docking takes concentration, so I lost it. Okay, so I'm not sure I want to fly. Oh, I might try and fly it. Let's see. We got 3,924 meters per second of Delta V. That is more than I would have guessed, because now let's go over the different options. In orbit about Kerbin, I have two vessels. One is an identical vessel to this one. I flew it up this morning, parked it in low orbit about Kerbin. We can fly to that. Then we can transfer our kerbals into that vessel and fly that vessel down to the surface, abandoning this. The advantage of that plan is I can ditch this lower half of this space plane because I won't be using it, and that is a lot of mass, all the mass of the wings, and of course these Rapier engines, or 4 Rapier engines, that's a lot of mass. That would save me quite a lot of mass, and it would improve my Delta V situation. That's plan B. Plan A is to fly this whole thing as the original plan was. Plan C is also in orbit. I have the original command vessel. That is this vessel here with 4 boosters radially attached to it. Also in low orbit about Kerbin. If we run out of fuel on our way, what we can do is just fly that thing to us. We can just basically undock all of this, get onto our new vessel, and then that will have way more than enough fuel to get us home. This thing should be able to do it all by itself, but like I said a couple of weeks ago, mistakes were made. We'll just leave it at that. But what I'm thinking, let's just really quick. I'm going to use Eve again. It's already set to Eve, so let's just create a maneuver here. 2,000 266 meters per second to get to Eve, and I should be able to use Eve to get to Kerbin, and I still got like a good 1,500 meters per second plus after that. I think I can do it. I think I can do it with this. And you know what? I kind of want to do that. That burn's coming up in 74 days. I kind of want to do that. I think I'm gonna go with plan A for now. Let's close this. I'm gonna go with plan A for now because I think this thing can get there. And then we'll find out. I'll do a save before I attempt the descent. We'll find out if this thing flies without the cowling on it. Oh, John's voting for plan B. Plan B is definitely the most sensible plan. In fact, it would have been the most sensible thing in the first place, is to ditch the wings and the engines, dock the lander with this vessel so you'd lose this whole middle piece. That's the most sensible idea, but we're going to go kerbal-y for now. I think I can do it. I want to stick with the original plan. Now, problem, this is, as we've noted, upside down. This is the top of the cockpit, and this is the top of the fuselage, hence the tail fin there. So we're going to undock, and we're going to spin this around 180 degrees. So that's going to be plan 1. Let's do that. Yeah, set that as a target. R. Let's get away. Okay. And we'll control from here. And we want to get a little bit of distance. And then we got to spin around 180 degrees. Oh, SAS, put that on. And then we should be able to just go straight back. I just noticed, okay, these thruster blocks aren't working because I disabled them during our transfer over here because they were completely unnecessary, and I forgot to re-enable them. But then again, everything seems fine, doesn't it? I think everything seems fine, so maybe I never needed them in the first place. Ugh, come this way. Okay, now we look right side up. That's always a good look. How does it... I think I can rotate... You can rotate these docking ports. Let's take this docking port. One thing I learned, you must unlock the rotation before you're able to rotate them. But I'm looking at the canards here. They don't look quite lined up with the wings, so I think I can rotate just a little bit. 2 degrees. Unfortunately, it's only 1 degree increments. I think that looks good. That looks good. I think we can go with this. We'll find out. Let's lock it again. As I mentioned, we will definitely do a quick save before we try any flying. Okay, I'm going to quick save right now. And really, there's nothing to it but to get to this maneuver. So let's... actually, let's check what our encounter with Eve is like before we get any further. Set Eve as a target. How can that be my Eve burn? Son of a... Okay, this might change my whole... I was trusting you. This is not intersecting Eve. What the heck is this? That tool is a little bit messed up. Let's get on the maneuver. I am now really, really lacking. What the? Oh my gosh. I'm not. What makes it think that that isn't any way? What kind of terrible burn is this? Is it just me? The Delta V has also changed, somebody said. Okay, let's try deleting this. Maybe my undocking and redocking the vessel messed things up. Let's try, yeah, delete that alarm. Let's try it one more time. Maybe that's what messed me up. So we want to get to Eve and create the maneuver. There we go. Okay, that makes me feel better. And it's 2006. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that Delta V. I'm certainly glad I did not attempt that burn, but this looks much more sensible. Okay, let's focus our view on Eve, because we're definitely going to want to... You know what? I'm going to go with this, and then we'll tweak. We'll do a mid-course correction, because we're definitely going to want to fly by Eve and get ourselves a boost up the Kerbin. Thankfully, getting a boost from Eve up the Kerbin is easier than getting a boost from Eve down to Moho, because the Delta V difference from Eve to Kerbin is much less than the Delta V difference from here to... You get. I think people understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, then what I'm going to do is a quick save once again. Get rid of this. Actually, let's watch this from map view. Get back on our vessel. I quick save because I don't trust the game. And let's time warp. Now, how fast am I able to time warp this? Is the question. Okay, pretty good. Okay, we're going to take this alarm. Can I not edit this alarm? Alarms over here. Take that alarm. We're going to edit it. Give me not 1 minute warning. Oh my gosh. Why would I want just 1 minute? Give me 1 hour warning. There we go. Apply those changes. Okay. Time warping. Round and round we go. Oh, switching the control. John thinking that switching my control points might have affected that. That is very possible. I don't know, but clearly something affected it. Let's go up one more. Here we go. Spinning so fast it looks like it's spinning backwards. My electricity okay? Yeah, it seems all right. Definitely going to make sure my control point's okay before I get started with this. I just realized as well I'm doing this in one big burn. I hope that's going to be okay. Rather than doing a burn and then looping around and coming back. But I'm getting impatient. Okay, that is that. Okay, let's make sure my control point is a normal control point. So we're going to control from here. Well, I should also make sure all my kerbals have, while I'm looking at this, a jetpack and especially a parachute for our descent. Where's our control from here button? Control from here. That didn't change anything. Okay. It's a 50-minute and 48-second burn. I should be doing this in stages, but I think I'm just going to go for it. It might not be smart. I'm in a tight orbit, yeah. So I might be needing to... I'm like pretty low to the surface. I definitely don't want this dipping below 7 kilometers or so, because that's the highest point Moho has. But I think I'm just going to go for it, and if I'll watch our periapsis, and if things are looking sketchy, I'll just pitch up. And again, I did quick save, so this turns out to be a mistake. We can live with our mistakes. Okay, let's get a little closer. Yeah, I am hitting Moho over the course of the burn might be an issue. But what we'll do to combat that is watch our periapsis and pitch up should we need to. Not let this periapsis get below about 7 kilometers. Because we are in a tight orbit for sure. In fact, let's turn it to free. That's better. Yeah, a better plan. Like, oh my gosh. We're 2.5 minutes from the burn. And you can see we're burning down. Okay. Oh well, I'm gonna go with it. If this turns out to be a really bad idea, I did quick save. Yeah, this is not, our orientation is not encouraging. So I'm going to be pitching up. Like that. And start like this way. This reduces the efficiency. A better plan would have been to split this burn into 2 burns. But I'm kind of feel committed now. So we is going to do this. All right. Always a little nerve-wracking burning towards the surface, but hopefully we got enough vertical speed to deal with this. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and go. And again, really watching, see how that periapsis is starting to dip really precipitously. So we're going to just pitch up to deal with that piece of it. But I really want to get these folks home today. I guess is it. I want to be able to call this mission done. Yeah, Moho is such a small SOI. You could not split this burn into 2 equal halves. We will be escaping Moho momentarily, and that's as much as I could have done. I'm going to pitch down a little bit. Again, I'm watching this periapsis. I don't want it to get too low. It's now about 12 kilometers. We can let it get lower than that. I think I should be... Whoa, I hit cockpit. There we go. I think I should be more this way. There is a normal component to this burn. See how, let's do a little time warping. See how long this burn is taking. Okay, I'm pitching up 9 kilometers on the periapsis. Pitching up. We're going to be scooting over the surface here. About 8.5 kilometers on the periapsis. I think I'm holding my periapsis pretty close. Doing okay. Oh, we are on our way back up, which is a good sign. So as long as I can pitch down now, as long as I keep that periapsis behind me. See, our time to periapsis is changed to a positive number. It's behind us. We are on our way up. Okay, I can lock back onto here. I think we're good. No, I lock it on there. Silly, there we go. We're good. We're on our way out of here. I'm not sure how. Let's get the rest of this burn out of the way. Problem is we're on our way up and we are well less than halfway through this burn. That is not a good thing. But we'll see. I might have also completely messed up this encounter. So we'll just watch really this. And when it gets up to Eve, then that's really when we're going to kill it. There is more fuel in this than I thought there would be. Oh, we can start time warping a bit more. Yeah, there's talk about the Oberth effect, and I am not taking a huge amount. Like, the further I get away from Moho, the less efficient this is all going to be. And we are now climbing quickly. But we're on our way. There's our flag going below us. Flag number 7. The other flags were so easy. Gosh, this still says periapsis. Notice that? We haven't even circularized. Like this Moho is so elliptical, its orbit. We haven't even flipped this around to being apoapsis yet. I think it's about to. There it goes. You can see the apoapsis starting to move. Now, to be fair, Moho is fairly small, so you could make the argument that Oberth is less of a deal with smaller bodies anyway. So there isn't as much gravity to take advantage of. I think we're doing okay. I'm wondering if this is messed up now, because I can't... Like, this says we still got over 1,200 meters per second left. We're only about halfway through our burn, but it feels like we're more than halfway through our burn. Getting a comment in the chat. Everybody get out and push. The infamous Manly maneuver. Which works in stock because you do have an infinite amount of EVA pack propellant. Every time you go in, that fills up again, and it's infinite. So you literally have, with kerbals pushing, an infinite amount of delta V, but your patience could easily run out before that. How are we doing relative to Moho? We're making our getaway. Making our getaway from Moho. Maybe this isn't messed up. About 800 meters per second left. See our apoapsis climbing here. I like it better when I see the numbers. It feels like I'm getting there quicker. I remember once doing a burn out of Gilly, talking about getting away from things with small SOIs. And I did my whole burn, ejection and everything, back to Kerbin, straight out of Gilly orbit. And before I was halfway through doing the maneuver, I left Gilly's SOI, and it completely messed this up. I don't think that's going to be a problem here. Yeah, I guess this is about right. It's looking about right. Okay, get ready to start taking the... Oh, I can see we got an even counter. Shoot. I was ready for that. Oh, I think we're getting further away from Eve. I'm just going to cut it. I know this wasn't ready, but I looked at my periapsis with Eve. Let's see here. Yeah. I'm using RCS to back off a little bit. Let's actually spin this around. I think it got a little messed up. I think I actually overcooked it a little bit. So we're going to spin around a little bit. Take a little bit off of this again. Still 1,347 meters per second left. Ain't terrible. Okay, let's focus in on Eve here. I'm going to get this number as small as I can right now. Nope, it's starting to go up. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, now what we need to do, we're going to be, when are we going to be here? 94 days we're going to be there, but we actually, let's get ourselves out of, boop, only 46 minutes away from being outside of Moho's SOI, so let's do that first. And then we'll look at, okay, then we'll look at a correction. And we want to definitely look at getting a boost out towards Kerbin. So, again, focus our view on Eve. My guess, now we are coming in at a crazy angle too, which is not super. But one thing at a time. Let's see here. What am I doing? That button. Okay, retrograde doesn't do it. Prograde does. And I think I always experiment with what has more effect. Prograde, retrograde, or radial. And it definitely prograde, retrograde seems to be the way to go. So we're going to give it some more prograde. We obviously have to give it some normal to bring it up to here. And then we've got to decide which way around we're going to go. So before we go any further, why don't we decide where's a good spot? Whoops, lost my maneuver. Yeah, definitely get more action if I do it later. So we get it in the most. Keep losing that maneuver. I hate when that happens. Well, that seems to be about the right spot there. Okay, let's play around with this. Now, it would be nice to come more into... it'd be nicer to be... Whoa, that was a big change. To be not coming in at quite this angle. I'm not sure there's a huge amount I can do with that. Let's see what that does for our trajectory. Yeah, that's pushing it out there. A little bit too close to Eve, but 67 kilometers. Eve's atmosphere is 90 kilometers, so we got to make sure we're above that. And I can see we're coming below Kerbin's orbit. I'm not sure if I can use Eve to help with that. Oh, that seems to be getting it better. I'd love this apoapsis to actually be touching that orbit, or at least as close as I can get to it. Let's set Kerbin as a target, because that gives us these guys. All right, back on the maneuver. Come on, back. See if you can get the descending node, either the ascending or the descending node right there. And now I can see I'm overdoing it. I have no idea. Oh wow. I'm still 200 kilometers above Eve, so we're nowhere near. So let's see if I can dial this back a little bit. Again, I want to get apoapsis just touching Kerbin's orbit, and that descending node just touching apoapsis. We're into really fine adjustments here. Like tiny adjustments. Shockingly tiny adjustments. I think that's pretty good. Wow, that's pretty good. So this is what, a 46 meter per second burn. We're missing Eve, but we're 325 kilometers above Eve's surface, or yeah, above Eve's surface. So we're well above the atmosphere, so there's no danger there. And that puts us into this orbit here, which is intersecting Kerbin's orbit. We're not gonna, the timing's all wrong. That's gonna happen, and then we just gotta wait. Oh, this is super duper encouraging. Okay, I'm gonna do another quick save. Let's set up an alarm. And let's see here. For this maneuver, give me 5 minutes of warning. And we'll add that alarm and we'll get ourselves out there. And I'm seeing in the comments, I'm gonna watch my electricity too, though we're not using the lab, so there's not a lot of electricity happening. I'm seeing in the comments, he goes, that's a lot of trial and error. And yeah, it is a lot of trial and error. I don't have a NASA supercomputer to sort of work this all out for me. Okay, getting out there. But I am encouraged. I am encouraged. Just about at this burn. There we go. And get ourselves on that maneuver. Delete the alarm. So, mostly a normal burn with some prograde on it to adjust the our incoming trajectory. Like I said, only 46.8 meters per second. 16-second burn, which is a baby burn by our standards. Okay. Ourselves nice and close. And actually, I should be watching this from Eve's perspective. Yeah. Because it won't update this green trajectory out to Kerbin until after I get rid of the maneuver. So all I want to do is match this. You can actually look at the numbers too. That'll help. You want to match the purple one, of course. Okay, we got a minute to go. Let's get closer. Getting another close encounter with Eve, though not as close as the encounter we had when we on our way out to Moho. Okay. And 3, 2, 1, and go. Though honestly, with that burn, it's not like it's that time critical. I didn't have to wait for the exact second. I want to get these right on each other. Oh, see, I already... Oh, no. Yeah, I overdid it. Let's back off with a little RCS. There we go. Okay, RCS off, maneuver node. That is hopefully what we need. Let's see how that looks like on our Kerbin approach. I think that looks really good. So we're going to blow by Eve. We're going to end up in this purple orbit. We're missing Kerbin by a lot, but we should be able to just kind of wait that part of it out. Nice. Okay. So I'm seeing in the chat, I have no idea what's happening, but I'm glad I caught the stream. So what's happening? We have just left Moho. I have just tweaked my closest approach to Eve. So we're going to come whipping by Eve here. That's going to kick us into this nice purple orbit, which is going to intersect with Kerbin. And then hopefully we can facilitate ourselves a return from our kerbals without any help from all of the rescue vehicles that I did put there. Okay, this is going to be for an SOI change. I'm going to give myself a day's warning. So add that alarm. Because I have noticed that this gets messed up. I'm not sure why it does, but these closest approaches get messed up a lot. Maybe this time it won't. Let's see here, Eve coming in on us. Well, it looks like we're good. Sometimes I set the alarm, I go time warp, and it goes right past my closest approach. This time it looks like it's going to be well behaved and actually stop where it's supposed to. Should be still... Oh, electricity is still fine. Still got lots of monopropellant too. I could have saved weight by losing a lot of monopropellant. Okay, and then we'll just do this the old-fashioned way. No alarms. And we're going to get a little help from our friend Eve. Eve is a great body for getting gravity assists from. You can even use it to go out towards like Jewel and stuff too. Alright, and again I'm just checking this. This is good. Not in Eve's atmosphere. Checking our resulting trajectory. That looks good. It all looks good. Let's set another alarm for leaving the SOI. Again, 10 minutes warning this time. I'm getting more confident. Do a quick save. Okay, quick save because I'm paranoid. And find Eve. Where's Eve? Let's start time warping, but actually, from our trajectory, we are coming in from below. Okay, so Eve should be above us. Oh, there it is. Okay. Here comes Eve. Getting a little bit of help. Watch this. Nice full Eve. All in the daylight. That's nice. Now the other way. Alright, and it seems like such a passive thing going by Eve, but this is what's boosting up. Eve is giving us a lot of energy. Like, there's no two ways around it. I mean, if we take a look, our periapsis was formerly down here where Moho is, and now that part of that orbit has been pushed all the way up to here. Like, we've gotten a lot of energy from Eve. Okay, that's our alarm. No, don't need to be focused on Eve anymore. All right, we are now on a trajectory that at least intersects with Kerbin's orbit, but as we can see from our encounter indicators here, we're nowhere near matching up with Kerbin. So the way we're going to deal with that, and this time I'm going to do it right, I'm going to put a maneuver about here-ish. Doesn't necessarily... So we're missing Kerbin by quite a lot on our next orbit, so what I'm just going to do is take this maneuver and push it ahead in orbit. And you can see our close encounter indicators moved. And I'm just going to see how many... Oh my golly! Just a couple of orbits and look how close they came. That, my friends, is exciting. That is super exciting. So we're going to do another maneuver here. Bring this one right up to our apoapsis. And this should be the tiniest of changes to facilitate this Kerbin encounter. Look at that. Okay, so this should be like almost nothing, this maneuver. So I'm going to do a little bit. Here, let's watch this. There we are. A little bit of retrograde, actually, by the way I'm moving the mouse wheel. Scale it up a bit. I'm missing by a lot here. That's, you know what, let's just, should be almost happy with what I have. What happens if I do a little normal? That doesn't do much change. What if I do a little radial? You know what, I should just live with it. I honestly should. So let's put those back down to 0. It gets almost, I got a 0.4 meter per, it's almost like I might as well not have this here. What if I took that out? I think so. I'm not going to do that burn. Instead, what I'm going to do is just go around. Yeah, we're just going to go around a few times. Let's center this on the sun. I can't believe how fortuitously this is working out. It's really helping. Now it's going to be a 2.5 years before we're at Kerbin, but I mean, I'm not complaining. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set another alarm. And about, I don't know, a day, 6 days. I don't know where I'm pulling these numbers from. This is before we get to this maneuver. And then we got about 3/4 of an orbit before we get to Kerbin. Yeah, so now we're just going to time warp. Wow, that worked out super well. Fortunately, we got to wait. We have a wait ahead of us here. Oh, wait, more time warping. Come on. Why is it not letting me time warp faster? Oh. I got some sort of alarm coming up here. Get rid of that. Yes. I don't know what that is. Okay, let's start that alarm again. I don't know what that was about. Create an alarm for this maneuver in 2 years. Yeah. Give me like 6 days warning. It was weird. Oh, I'm doing a... I'm not doing an alarm for the maneuver. I was doing just a flat out, give me an alarm in 6 days. That's better. Okay, add the alarm. Silly, silly. Okay, now let's time warp. Time warping, straighten it out. There we go. Okay. 2.5 years. Well, this mission... Let me change it to mission time here. This mission time now has been... Oh, no, that's universal time. There's no way that's right. Well, I mean, we've been out for a few years already, for sure, at least. This is the time since we docked the ships together. But this is how you do it. Especially when... There was no way I had enough Delta V to do a straight up from Moho to Kerbin. I'm almost positive I didn't have the DV for that. So this is the way to do it. It just takes a little longer. And again, if there was like, yeah, one more times 10 on this time warp. What's this? This is like 100,000. If there was 1,000,000 times speed, that would be great. And this would not take so long. Be funny to show the kerbals aging. Yeah, that would be funny. And again, you know, this is not... In a real world, if we ever do interplanetary space missions, there's no way you would do this. Because... Although I've never done the math, I have to think that the amount of extra stuff you got to put on the ship to keep your crew alive and safe for this length of time will more than offset these fuel savings that you're encountering. So in a real world situation, you definitely want to make a direct transfer to your planet. But for real world probes, this kind of stuff is done. Yeah, this is what's done. It's just, you know, NASA works it out better than I do. They don't. Yeah, shockingly, they don't just wing it. Yeah, their kids are in college by now. All right, coming around. How many more orbits? I think we got an orbit and a half still. Maybe 2. And there is a mod I know out there called Better Time Warp, which does give you an extra thingy. But we can wait. We can wait. I'm just excited that this... Am I suggesting that maybe without jinxing it, I'm knocking on my desk. My wooden desk and saying, please don't let me jinx it, but are we actually going to be finishing this mission today? With that would be a shock. I think this is someone saying it took you like 4 streams. I think this is stream number 5, if I'm not mistaken. Though, to be fair, the first couple of streams were just about building. The first couple of streams was just about building this stupid monstrosity and getting it into orbit. And then I did a stream with some Eve assists that I completely messed up. And then I did the last stream, which was gotten and landing on Moho, and now this stream coming back. Oh, we're coming to the end of our alarm here. Eventually, time warping will be done. There we go. Okay, so delete that. Now this maneuver, we're going to move it all the way around to about here-ish. Here-ish. And now we're going to focus on Kerbin. There's Kerbin. And we're going to really tweak this. And let's get on the maneuver here. See which way does what. That's going the wrong way, so a little retrograde here. Bringing that in. And the answer to the question is, are you going to... Can I use... I noticed I had a moon encounter. Just a second. I was going to use Aerobraking. But you think it might... I think I'm going to be coming in too fast to be able to use the moon to get a capture. I can certainly use the moon to slow me down. It's... might be worth considering. It may be worth considering. I'm just noticing I'm fortuitously getting a moon encounter before. Let's focus our view on the moon, because you can use the moon to slow you down. That would be awesome. Let's get a little normalness into this. Down into the moon's... Now, obviously, that's a hit on the moon. We don't want to do that. How much can the moon slow me down? Is that the slow down side of the moon? That's about as good as that's going to get. Okay, that is getting me escaping Kerbin in 255 days and 2 hours. This will. I'm just trying to decide which side slows me down. I think that's the slowdown side. And this is getting me escaping Kerbin in 255 days and 1 hour. There's not a lot of difference, is there? I'm not so sure this is really worth my time. So yeah, it does slow me down a little bit. I don't know. I'm going to just play a little bit. I hope. I'm in a good mood. I'm in a good mood. What if I come here next to the moon? This might not be a good plan, but it'll be my plan. Get in like close. Real close. That's too close. And then if I did a burn here, right at periapsis, because I still have 1,285 meters per second of DV, can I use that? Using the moon a little bit to slow me down. It all depends on how much this burn is. There's a capture. This might not be smart. But I'm... where's my second maneuver? It's right here. How much have I... I've only put in 852 meters per second. You guys in the mood for going by the moon? But you see what's happening here is we're coming around the moon. Moon's slowing us down a little bit. And then I'm doing a 850-ish odd meter per second burn to put us into this elliptical capture. And then I can just use Kerbin's atmosphere for the rest. That's kind of like the idea. So we're not getting a complete capture from the moon, but we are getting a little bit of help. At least I think we are. What if I went to maneuver number 1 and played a little bit with the normalness, because I would love this not to be, that's the idea, see that? I would love the resulting capture to be closer to being, not sure how close I can get it to being, but closer. I'm making sense, I hope. Let's get this one, put it right back on periapsis again. We need to move that periapsis here. Let's put this back. Gonna get closer to the moon. The closer to the moon I am, oh, that's the second maneuver. First maneuver. Closer to the moon I am, the better. Sure, why not? And then we'll put this right back on here. Even with this elliptical capture, it'd be pretty easy to do burns out here at apoapsis and just bring my periapsis down a little bit. But then we can do some non-aggressive aero captures to bring our orbit down. Not aero captures, just aero brakes now, because we're not. There we are. I like it. I like it. So we're doing a tiny little correction in 152 days, and then a 871 meter per second burn right close here to the moon. Might be a little too close, but we might be able to tweak that as we approach. How long is the burn there? Oh, it doesn't tell me, of course. You know what? Let's move our apoapsis out a bit. I'm just a little nervous being that close to the moon, especially what our ejection from Kerbin was like. So I'm just gonna 22. Oh, back here. That's good. That's better. So there's the plan. That's the plan right there. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's get to that maneuver. Let's do it. Let's do this. Let's do this thing. I'm just going to rotate this for our solar panels. And yeah, let's set up an alarm. Give us, for the maneuver, give us about 5 minutes warning. Add that alarm. Close our alarms. Okay, we'll watch it again from out here, so people can see sort of what's going on. There we are. So here we come. We've got to do about a half an orbit. Here's our maneuver, our tiny little correction here. That was just fortuitous seeing that moon encounter. I mean, my original plan was just to flat out aero capture with Kerbin, doing a little bit of burning. I mean, I still have 1,285 meters per second left in the vehicle. Wouldn't be enough for a capture. Not, well, it wouldn't be far off. I might have been able to do close to a straight up capture. I'm only coming from Eve. But whatever. We're going to do this thing with the moon. I like the idea of getting these folks back completely on their own initiatives, not having anybody to come and get them. I mean, I do have, like I mentioned, if I focus my view on Kerbin now, I can start to show you. Where is Kerbin? Oh, it's right here. Here, just do it this way. If I focus my view on Kerbin now, there we are. In low orbit, I do have, this is another space plane, which is identical to the one on the top of that vessel, and this is another command module that we're waiting, and I'm hoping I don't have to use them. That's what I'm hoping. Actually, focus on the view on the moon. There we are. And the burn's in 4 minutes, but this is not a time critical burn, so I'm just going to do it. Just don't have to put a lot of throttle because this is only a 4-second burn, so I'm just going to give a little bit of throttle. And at some point, we should be seeing our moon encounter. Last time I went right down to 1 second, but that really doesn't matter. Here it comes. This is the tiniest of burns, though. So we're going to just get rid of this entirely and just see what it can do with just RCS. Yeah, that's the idea. Little puffs of RCS. And I want this about 25 kilometers above the surface. I think that should be safe. That's good. 26. Yep. Okay. All right, so we are going to be here in 98 days. I lost... Oh, let's cancel... This is... Yeah, let's delete this maneuver. That's... Something's gone wacky with it. Put this back. This should be just a retrograde burn. Whoa, that was already too much. And again, I want that about... Of course, there's no reason to have this perfect right yet. Oh, come here. Well, let me click on... See my periapsis. It won't let me right click. There we go. A little bit more. Yep. About 45 kilometers. That should be safe. I mean, I've taken vessels and aerobraked them down from the moon. From the moon's altitude many times at that altitude, and it was never an issue. Okay, again, I'm going to do a quick save because I get nervous about these things. I'm going to roll this for the solar panels. All right. We have our next step is our Kerbin encounter. Oh my gosh. SOI change with Kerbin. Again, give me a day. So we're encountering Kerbin in... Oh, I think I did it again. Yep. I keep hitting the manual. Create an alarm for the SOI change. I keep hitting manual time change or manual alarm. 1 day. There we go. So 94 days, 3 hours. Add an alarm. Okay. And again, I'm going to quick save because this... Sorry, I'm getting out to the sun eventually. There we are. I've had a history of this messing up on me, and I don't trust the game. So make sure to quick save. Here we go. But it's getting exciting. It is definitely getting exciting. So here comes our vessel. Here comes Kerbin. Oh, looks like this time it's stopping at the right time again. That's good. Turn that off. Blue Dream says he just got this for the PS4 and made it into orbit and then crash landed. Honestly, if you make it into orbit, or like it's Harlan Ellison that said that. Oops, there we go. If you get into orbit, you're halfway to anywhere. So that is an accomplishment, just getting into orbit. People shouldn't be frustrated in this game with it taking a little while just to figure out how to get to orbit. And I've also heard that the console version, never played it, but I have heard it is significantly tougher. Okay, so I don't think I need to do much of anything until I'm actually encountering the moon. So let's again do an alarm for the SOI change. Again, this time give me 3 hours warning. My trust is improving. Let's center this. Can I center on Kerbin? There. That's a better view. Yep. Actually, we can watch from out here. Should be able to find Kerbin somewhere. Kerbin and the moon is somewhere. I have no idea. It should be coming from us this direction, right? No, from behind us. There's Kerbin. Haha! Kerbin, there's the moon. That's our target. These folks are happy to be seeing their home. They're saying, I think my house is over here. I want to be home. Okay. Wow, we are going fast. Look how far we are, and this is still 3 hours from the moon. Let's get closer. This is a head-on collision. I'm just noticing that. We're coming this way, and the moon is coming right at us. It might not be the best of configurations. In fact, I'm sure it's not. Okay, we are now in the moon's SOI. We have a burn to do. So let's get down here, focus on the moon. I don't think I need to change too much. I think I'm pretty happy with it. Periapsis 45. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm just gonna flat out do this. Now this is a 4 minute and 46 second burn. That's not terrible. We'll set an alarm. Give us 10 minutes warning. Keep picking different numbers. Again, it gave me that I have to do this in 9 minutes. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. We are going so fast. We have to do the burn in 9 minutes. Burn's coming up in less than 20 minutes. That's wild. That is wild. And once you have a Kerbin capture, then you got all the time in the world to just flaff about. Hello, Moon. We weren't planning on coming to see you, but we are. Getting you to give us a little bit of a helping hand. Lock that onto our maneuver. Same thing as when we were burning out a Moho. I do have to keep an eye on my periapsis and be ready to pitch up should I see this getting lower than about 10 kilometers, because the last thing we need to do is crash into the moon's surface. That is very clearly a worst case scenario. But I think I left my periapsis up high enough that that's not going to be an issue. We're going to slingshot. I don't know if slingshot's the right word. We are using the moon's gravity assist to give us a little bit of a help with slowing down. And we're going to be getting an additional 878 meter per second burn here to get our capture. So the moon is definitely helping, but it's not helping a lot. I honestly think I do have enough fuel. I could have done the capture straight up, but this is fun too. I saw the moon encounter and just could not resist. Okay, a little bit closer. Oh, get ready here and go. And again, watch. Oh, I'm pushing my periapsis actually up, so worrying about hitting the moon's surface is not something I should have been worried about. Okay, so about 4.5 minute burn. This thing does not have the highest of thrust to weight ratios. Do a little bit of time warping. This thing has made its journey It has flown by Eve a couple of times, landed on Moho, and now it's flying by the moon. Using the moon for a little bit of help. Next step, Kerbin. Periapsis is starting to go down, but it's not going to get into the danger zone. I don't think I need to worry about it. I honestly thought I'm very pleased that Plan A is working so far. I honestly thought I was going to have to ditch the bottom half of the space plane. That was what I thought was going to be the most likely plan, to have enough fuel to get back here, is to ditch the weight of this bottom half. I'm glad I didn't have to. Still a dumb way to do it, to take a whole space plane with you just so you don't have to dock when you're on your way back. Alright. Past our lowest point, on our way back up again. Do we have our capture around Kerbin yet? Probably not. Oh, yes we do. Oh, yes we do. There it is. That is a Kerbin capture. Now what I'm looking for... Here we are. It's got a little weird. It's come back. I want this about 45 kilometers. And then we're just going to aerobrake down. Oh, I am pleased. I am pleased. Now it feels like I'm just coming back from the moon. This was not a very... Someone joining the stream right now is going, is that all you were doing, is coming back from the moon? That's pretty boring. And got it. Be a little more with RCS to get it down 45 right on the... Doesn't... 45 is a number I made up. There's nothing special about that. We can delete the maneuver, and there we are. It's not even half badly inclined. I'm rather shocked by that. Okay, let's leave the moon's let's leave the moon behind. Say goodbye, moon. Thanks for the help. Thanks for the help, moon. Oh, I'm in physics time warp still. There we go. I did that whole thing in physics time warp. Okay. Goodbye, moon. Is it slowing down? Have I done the switch yet? I have. Okay. Now I'm just thinking. I'm setting the moon as a target, not because I plan on coming back here. I'm just looking at what my... Oh my god, we're going around retrograde. That's not... Is that right? We are. We're going around backwards. How did I pull that one off? Oh well. I was considering... Boy, this would have been bad if I wanted to rendezvous with these guys here. They're going around backwards. Our relative inclination is 176. Oh my gosh. That's fun. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to time warp to that... Oh wait, let's get back on our ship. I'm going to time warp to that ascending node. We're going to zero out our inclination here. Not zero it. We're going to 180% it. I have to burn anti-normal. I'm pretty sure. That makes sense. So we're coming around completely retrograde. That's funny. Okay, let's time warp again. Why is it not going to the... There it starts to go. I think it was time warping there. Just want to time warp, get right to this, and I want to make this 180 degrees. And the reason for that is, although I have the option of just splashing down in the ocean. I do want to keep my options open for going to the runway, even though we'll be coming at the runway from the east rather than from the west, which is sort of funny. But I want to keep that option open. We are still doing well time-wise on the stream. I'm pretty sure this is right. Let's look at our inclination here. Like if I burn right now, this is bringing our inclination. Oh, no, that brings our inclination down. Sorry, I got to burn the other way. Everything's backwards. That feels backwards. Oh, well. Oh, because normal is now south. That makes sense. We have to burn south. South is down on the screen. And normal is now south because we're going around retrograde direction. So that's what was getting me going the wrong way. I can see from here I need to bring this trajectory southwards. Okay. Now we got this. I don't want to spend too much fuel doing this too. So I do have to watch. I don't want to completely burn out what fuel I have left. Right-hand rule, says NC Davis. You are completely correct. The right-hand rule says which way the positive normal vector goes. I'm just going to wait till we're just before that AN. Here, let's start doing this. And all I want to do, oh, it's not going to cost much to get it to 180. Oh, I'm pushing it away from me. Let's get closer. There we go. So now our inclination is 180 degrees. We do have an equatorial but backwards orbit. My periapsis is still about 45 kilometers. I'm going to do a quick save, because I always do a quick save before aerobraking. But we are going to do this now. Let's get down there. We're in an eclipse. I have no idea how this thing is going to behave in the atmosphere. I would think we're going to go through the atmosphere in a retrograde direction. I would think this thing would like going through retrograde given all of the control surfaces that are up here at the top. But there's only one way to be sure. All right. Oh, we're so close to Kerbin. You could just reach out and touch it. And here, while I'm thinking about it, because we're going to be bringing those solar panels up and down a lot. Oh, I do have it on a landing. Okay, let's take that off, but I have the solar panels on an action group. So let's put this on the surface retrograde vector 2. There we go. Excellent. That is our solar panels retracting. I should retract these ones too. I just noticed them up here at the top. And we'll see how this thing behaves. Hopefully it'll behave in a good way. There we are. And the goal here is not coming down. The goal here is simply to lower our apoapsis. What I think I might just do is if I get my apoapsis down low enough that I think it's safe, I might just detach this plane and just go wherever it ends up going. That might not be... We'll see. Keep my options open. It's good to have options. Okay, we are almost in the atmosphere. The first time this entire vehicle combined has experienced atmospheric flight. See how this goes. Let's time warp a little bit. And it should be okay. I did quick save because if things go horribly wrong, but I think it should be okay. I see heat bars down here. I think they're all on the engines. Maybe not. I think some of them, actually, I think that tank's a little hot too. We're 40 seconds from periapsis. Ooh, that is getting really hot. If this gets too hot, I'm going to revert my... If this blows up, I'm just going to revert and raise my peri. I got a lot of heat bars up here now. 25 seconds to periapsis. Once we pass periapsis, oh, all of our engines are getting overheats on them. Okay, 10 seconds to periapsis. Oh, we got overheating coming on some of these engines up here. Oh, wait, that is... Oh, these are the Rapier engines getting hot up here. That's what's happening. That's what this overheating is. Anyway, we're past periapsis. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. We're just bleeding off speed. As you can see, it's bringing down our apoapsis here. We are good. Let's ride this out. Yeah. Heating bars going away. All right. That was pass number 1. I'm just going to let that ride around again. Because now that we've slowed down, the second time through should be less dramatic. Just using the atmosphere to help bleed off some speed here. Okay, we are back out of the atmosphere. Let's bring back those solar panels. Oh, that was good the way it was. Oh, I still got the moon set as a target. Let's undo that. Okay, and we brought down our apoapsis from the moon's orbit down to there. We're going to go around and do that again. So let's just, yeah, we're just going to go around again. Nothing fancy. Go up. It's the advantage of a planet with an atmosphere. Everything's fine. And usually that's what you say just before things start going really bad, but that went fine. Okay, again, we'll lock that onto the surface retrograde vector. We'll retract those solar panels. We'll go through again. This will be going through at a lower speed, so should be less dramatic. And all of these fellas are in, just do the interior view here. They're all in here, right? Aim that camera. Everybody's in there, right? Oh yeah, they're all fine. Okay. And they all have parachutes. They do. Okay. All right. Pass number 2. Yeah, electricity really shouldn't be an issue. I mean, this thing has over 11,000 units of electric charge in the batteries because of, you know, the need to transmit science all the way from Moho. That would have been electrically expensive. You know what I'm a little surprised isn't a bit of an issue? Is this antenna. I'm just noticing. That antenna is hardly an aerodynamic thing there stuck on the sign, but it doesn't seem to be providing any problems. And we're already past our periapsis. See, I told you this one was going to be less dramatic. One thing I'm not sure of is how this thing will fly without that cowling that was over that. That's why I kept that on all those times, because it looked more aerodynamic. Whether it really was, I don't know. We'll see. They have parachutes. Worst comes to worst, they could parachute out. That's always a comforting thought. Okay. All right. Where's our apoapsis? Down. We're going to go around again. Keep doing that. This time I didn't bother with the solar panels, and look, see, I still got a lot of electric charge. Okay, let me get back onto that retrograde vector. And the reason to go through retrograde, for those that don't know, is simply because the engines are the parts that can take the most heat. So they are the least likely to explode, as opposed to things like cockpits. So if this end's better to take the brunt of the airstream. Slow down the time warp a little bit. I don't trust the physics. And the more I time warp, the less I trust the physics. And there's a lot of physics going on. I don't want to get some physics-y thing ending this mission. Okay, so our apoapsis is about 1,200 kilometers now. I really want to get it down really low before I let the space plane go. Because it is not... I've descended it from... I can't remember, an 80 or 100 kilometer orbit. Maybe a 100 kilometer orbit. I think from a 100 kilometer orbit I test descended it. And it was fine. But I would hate to... Of course, it's entirely possible. I'm just realizing during the descent, the heating of this might be a problem. We'll see. When the plane comes down and doing that belly flop maneuver. All right. Again, back in space. Let's put on the solar panels this time, charge up our batteries. Yeah, we're just gonna go around again. Let's keep going around. I'm gonna quick save, because things will be getting real soon enough. And retract the solar panels. I'm thinking probably one more after this one. I'll probably get my apoapsis. I would love to see this apoapsis get a little lower than where it is. Like below 200 kilometers. I think that would make me feel better. So I saw in the chat, looks like a perfect orbit. It is a perfect orbit going backwards. So if these guys had to rendezvous with something in low orbit, that would be a problem. Because we are retrograde that I did not notice on my insertion, but I'll go with it. Actually, it makes perfect sense that it's retrograde given that we are hitting the moon in a head-on collision. Certainly putting a show on for the people down here. Seeing this mighty meteor roaring overhead. And on our way back up. What is our apoapsis? Apoapsis is about 450 kilometers and going down. I'm thinking one more might get this thing to descend, which might not be bad. Honestly, I don't know. There's the KSC. I was about to say, where's the KSC? There's the KSC coming below us. It feels so weird going across the KSC from east to west rather than west to east. Would be really, really nifty to try and land there. Okay, what is our apoapsis at? Ooh. 333 kilometers. Do a quick save. And I think what I'm going to do, because I got me a feeling, if I went around one more time, I have a feeling I would actually be probably not coming back up again. So what we're going to do here, let's get rid of these other objects. They are actually serving. They were part of our rescue plan, but I don't think these folks are going to need a rescue plan. But what we're going to do instead is come up here to apoapsis. We're going to point this prograde. Am I still time warping? There we go. And I'm just going to raise my periapsis a little bit. A little bit, because I'm worried if I go through one more time, I would actually lower my apoapsis so much that we won't be coming back out again. And I'm going to go for 52 kilometers. That's with absolutely no reason. I'm pulling that number straight out of my derriere. 52 kilometers. And so we're going to raise this periapsis from about 41.5 kilometers to 52 kilometers. That's it. Why 52? Don't ask me why 52. I just seemed like a number. Well, it definitely is a number. Okay. So doing that, back on surface. I'm going to quick save once again in case this goes terribly, terribly wrong. And we're going to get back down there and go through again. But with not going through as much of the atmosphere, I want to bring the apoapsis down lower because I don't trust this space plane falling from that much altitude. But I don't want to bring it so low I end up not coming back out of the atmosphere. Don't want to land just yet. Okay, so we're at about 333 kilometers on the apoapsis. I really want to pay attention to how much of that I lose going through this time. There is a mod out there for people that enjoy modding called Trajectories that actually predicts all this stuff for you without the guesswork that I am currently engaged in, and it is super duper handy. Oh, I'm not into the atmosphere yet. There we go. But I did vow I was going to do this mod free. So for all the people that don't use it, it's actually not only mod free, it's expansion pack free. That was actually an accident. I forgot to install the expansion packs. I have purchased them, but But I like doing a mix of modded and non-modded games. And by the way, if you enjoy modded Let's Plays and modded streams, that's the plan for next week. If this all goes well, then the plan for next week is to get back to my modded stream with Kerbalism. There's the KSC again. That's the plan for next Monday, if this all goes well. This has gone on way longer than I ever anticipated. Okay, so I'm looking at my Apoapsis just passing 250 kilometers. A lot less dramatic now that we're not dipping as far into the atmosphere. What planets are left to do flags on? The planets that are left is the entire Joule system, so all the moons of Joule, Dres, Ilu, and the king of trying to plant flags and come back, Eve. I'm putting Eve off to last. I'm actually thinking, I don't know when I'll get back to doing this series again, but I'm thinking next will be the Joule system, because I should be able to, with this vessel, knock off a lot of the flags with Joule. This thing should, this plane should be able to land on Lave and return. Of course, there's no landing strip, so that makes it a little bit of a challenge. Okay, what do we got here? 213, so it came down about 120 kilometers. If it came down another 120 kilometers, that would get getting pretty scary. So I think what I shall do is go around one more time. Let's get out to Apoapsis, but I'm going to push up. Let's go 58 kilometers. So I'm getting out to Apoapsis. We're going to do one more. This probably will be the last prograde burn. And then we'll bring down our Apoapsis just a smidge more. So what did I said 58 for some reason, I think. Let's go 57 and a half. I don't know. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Just about at Apoapsis, a little bit of a burn. 57.5. Went too far. Back off a bit with RCS. Again, nothing really particular about that. Okay, we're going to go around. This should be our last time. This should be our last aerobrake, and then we are going to attempt a landing. And hopefully nothing will go... Oh, slow down. Hopefully nothing will go astray. I wasn't paying attention to where we were. I like the fact that, like, we're really close to the KSC at our lowest, like, as we're coming through the atmosphere here. So I'm thinking I may not even circularize. What I might do, depending on where my Apoapsis is after this, is take whatever fuel is left in this, put it in the plane, because it does have jet engines. Bring down my periapsis further and try and see if we can come anywhere near the runway. And if we can, I would be ecstatic. Absolutely ecstatic. Okay. This has no drama happening at all at this high of an altitude. I'm worried I should have come a little bit lower. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm just worried about the structural integrity of this plane coming down. I don't want to be too abusive to it. Yeah, I'm not bringing it down too much. I think I was a little too cautious. That's okay. Better overcautious than the other way around. The kerbals definitely are eager to get down. No Mercy says, the kerbals look easier to get down. And I go, definitely they are. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to ride it around one more time. No adjustments. It's just I did not bring my apoapsis down that much, so I think I am going to do this one last time around. Well, I'm actually getting the warnings. I can't time warp that fast. Just because I am worried about the structural integrity of this. I'm also going to be ready to bail kerbals. Find that retrograde vector again. You have enough fuel to circularize. I do have enough fuel to circularize. You are 100% right. Like, there's still 353 meters per second left down here. But I don't think I'm going to bother with circularizing. I think what I'm going, because our lowest, I mean, where's the KSC? There's the KSC there. So our lowest point is not too far from where the KSC is. So I think what I'm doing, I think what I'm just going to do is, once I get my apoapsis down low enough, I think I'm just going to detach, well, take whatever fuel's in here, put it in the plane, detach the plane, bring my periapsis down further, and then just try and go for the runway without doing any more orbital shenanigans. That's the plan. Again, not a lot of drama because we are still high up in the atmosphere, but I am bringing this down. It's under 160 kilometers. I'm a little worried about this business here and how it's going to behave once we're in the airstream. Because when this flew up, there was a cowling over top of all of this. But I had to get rid of that because it wouldn't dock with that there. So we'll see what happens. All right, we're definitely going for it after this. No, it's a longer stream than normal, but I don't know about you. I want to finish this. So 130 kilometers on our apoapsis. 125. If this dips below 70, we're going to be going down. But I think I actually have this timed out pretty good. I hope I do anyway. I'm starting to get a little worried. 115 on the apoapsis. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? Let's slow down here. I'm going to be ready because I'm a little worried that I might be on my way down. We'll see how this goes. So I'm going to take all of this liquid fuel that's in here and we're going to pump it up into here so that if I have to do an emergency detach of this plane will be ready. Okay, so that hopefully means there's no more liquid fuel in the back. Oh, why am I not? That's weird. It's not, oh, there we go. Now it's highlighting it. Yeah, there's no more liquid fuel in the back half of this. All the liquid fuel is now in the plane itself. I think I'm okay though. Apoapsis is now 100 kilometers. I was just a little worried there just for a little bit that this apoapsis might end up going below 70, in which case this is going down, and I wanted to be ready to detach this But I think I actually have this all worked out really well. Okay, we are now officially out of the atmosphere. So I'm going to put this on a normal vector. And we're going to detach this stage while it's spinning here. I'm going to... Oops, I hit the wrong... that one. Undock. Here we... Oh, whoa! Something broke. Something broke. Something broke. Maybe I should have closed this. Hopefully that wasn't anything important, but something definitely broke. What broke? Okay, that's coming loose. Okay. I don't know what broke back here. It might have been some science equipment, maybe? I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know what those pieces were that came off. Whatever. Put this back on prograde. Got lots of electricity. Let's turn on these engines. Noticing the thrust limiter's way down too. Let's get rid of that. We might need that thrust. Activate that engine. I'm sure there was a good reason for me to turn down that thrust limiter, but I have forgot. Probably during docking. Okay. That is our plane. Let's get out here now. 353 meters per second still left, and it's this should be in closed cycle mode. It is, so we are in rocket mode. Oh, another... No, I'll do that later. So let's get out to apoapsis. I'm going to have to bring down my periapsis. I'm going to quick save too in case this goes astray. Lock this onto retrograde. So here's our periapsis. Here's the KSC. Oh, we're gonna we're way overshooting. Yeah, if I'm worried if I bring this periapsis down enough that my entry will be too aggressive for this plane to get to the KSC. So you know what we're gonna do? I'm just gonna let it ride. We're coming down though. We're coming down. Let's do this. Okay, put this on prograde. We are coming down. Oh, how about, I think all of these are deactivated. They are. So we want this one to control pitch and... Oh, I got the wrong way around. I deactivated these things. I want this one to just control pitch. No, again, I'm doing it the wrong way. I want these to control yaw. I want this one to control yaw. I want these to control pitch. Okay, let's just check to make sure that's all right. Pitch, 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 pitch and roll. Pitch and roll. Pitch. Good thing I remembered to turn those on. Okay. Let's pitch up because we are now in the atmosphere. I was a little worried. I know the plan was to bring down the periapsis and shoot for the KSC, but I was a little worried that if I brought down my periapsis that much, I would be too aggressive coming into the atmosphere. And I want to be gentle with this thing because I really am not at all aware of what it can and cannot take. So we've just passed the KSC. Yes, there's the KSC back there. We'll see what we get. Who knows? Maybe we'll go all the way around and come back. That would be fun. Let's put on some time warping. I want to be very gentle. You know what? I might as well put these in air breathing mode. I think 1. Yeah, okay. So these engines are now in air breathing mode. Right? These should be open now. I think so. Yeah. And I'm not going to be that aggressive with my angle of attack. I'm a little worried. Okay, our apoapsis is now below 70, so we are going down, but my idea here is just to see if we can, if I keep this angle of attack really low, if we can just kind of skim along the upper part of the atmosphere, see how far we can carry this. That's kind of like my idea. I don't know if it's a good idea or not. This might be a water ditch. Yeah, we're never going to get all the way around, are we? Not a chance in heck are we getting all the way around. Well, I keep thinking we're going around this way. I'm always backwards. Okay, we're going to be very gentle. Very gentle. Okay, getting some heating up there at the top. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This thing's very... Here. Sorry. Got some adjustments to do. Give me that. In. Pumping liquid fuel to the back because this thing is very nose heavy. That oxidizer to the back too. That's better. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Lock this on prograde. Come on. Stop being this way. This is not as stable as it was before. Still, it's extremely nose heavy. Oh, I want to take the time warp off. Oh my gosh, that's why everything's so herky-jerky. Come on. I think we're okay, though. Okay. We are not making it around to the KSC. I can say that much. I was doing all that at 4 times speed, and that's why things felt so chaotic. All right. I don't know. Whatever. We're not getting to the runway, obviously, but we'll ditch this in the water. Still nose heavy, yeah. But I've pumped the fuel as far back as I can. I don't think there's any fuel here. There's oxidizer in this front tank, but I can't. There's no oxidizer containers back here. Okay, let's... Here we go. We got engines. Okay, we don't need them. We're gonna try and glide this. We got this. We got this. We got this. We got this. Okay, so it's gonna be a water thing. I'm happy with that. It's not the most aerodynamic of vehicles, but I mean, these folks got themselves back. I am super duper happy. Splashdown is the least of my concerns. We are actually subsonic now, too. Let's get down there. I see in the comments, that was gentle? That was gentle? It was, well, part of the problem was that I had the, I had time warp on 4 times speed, so all my inputs were multiplied by 4. That didn't help things along. But this thing was meant to be flying with the fairing here on, not off, and I think that doesn't help. But it's flying. It's good. It's all good. Here, let's get down there. We're losing a lot of speed. The important thing is we should be bringing these folks back. I am so happy. I had all these rescue vehicles ready to go out and get them, and nope, they're like, no way, we're coming back under our own steam. Look at all these level 4s down here now, too. Nicely done. Oh, now we got like lots. You can see that Delta V now going up. now that we got air-breathing engines. Though, I mean, we're on the other side of the planet from the KSC, so we're not attempting to go to the KSC. That's okay. I'm happy. And that's all that matters. And I have control of this. There we go. Yeah. I got to keep my speed up a little bit. It's not exactly a super duper glider. Okay, slow pitch up and bring it into the water. Just like that. There we go! There we go. We are back. We are home. That counts. That counts as far as I'm concerned. Here, we'll put the gear down. I find that helps slow down. This thing slides through the water. Oh, we got these gears too. Sure, fine. There we are. Gonna turn it sideways too. We're still sliding, so I don't think we can recover just yet, but clearly this will stop. But that's it. It took 5 streams for this ridiculous thing to happen, but I have a vehicle. If you can get to Moho, you can pretty much get anywhere. So I got a vehicle that can go pretty much anywhere in the Kerbal system. We're going to be revisiting this thing again sometime in the future. I think Jewel would be a sensible target. But next week, now that this is done, next week is going to be getting back to my Kerbalism live streams. I've been off of that for about 4 months or so. I want to get back to those. I am excited. But in the meantime, I want to thank everybody in the stream. I want to thank everybody that's watching this at a later date. I want to thank all my patrons. I want to thank all my YouTube members. Thank you very much. Have yourselves a great rest of the week. We'll see you on Monday, and we'll be back doing KSC or KSP once again. Thanks, everybody.